There was a bus accident where a bus had rammed into two students outside a school, and it led to very wide protests. But there was an underlying reason behind it. It wasn't simply a road accident that the students were concerned about. They were concerned about the fact that the transport system was so corrupt that nothing was being done to curb illegal transactions at many levels, not merely the transport sector. And students were outraged that they came out into the streets. I, as a journalist, was trying to tell their story. The government turned their goons on these kids and were beating them up. I was trying to photograph that. I got beaten up and my camera smashed, but I continued to work. And then I made some live posts. I gave an interview to Al Jazeera, and that night I got picked up by the security forces. I was tortured and ended up spending 107 days in jail. But it did also lead to a massive global protest, both within Bangladesh and all across the world, for my release. It's a protest that continues, and I am now out of jail on bail, though the case against me continues and I face a potential jail sentence of 14 years. But I see myself as a citizen of an independent state, and my constitution gives me rights which I insist on enjoying. And I will continue to say what I need to say, and I will continue to speak truth to power. That has problems, as I face myself, but I think that is part of the terrain that journalism is about. You can't have one without the other. One needs to stand at the edge and feel the heat, otherwise one is ineffective. My period in incarceration gave me lots of insights. Firstly, I learned about life inside jail, which, while I knew of from a distance, I hadn't faced myself. I recognized how there were so many people who were unjustly incarcerated, and how a state machinery can turn it against its own people. But what I also discovered was the huge amount of empathy and respect that I had from other prisoners. While I was there, I was able to bring in paint and paintbrushes, and we've had over 40 murals painted all inside Keranagan jail. The jail now is a transformed place. I brought in musical instruments, they formed a band, they've written songs, we've got vegetable patches, we've got adult education classes. We've been able to get bail through paralegal help. I'm now spending a lot of my time on jail reform, and I see that as a future direction for my work. I met a lot of people from all walks of life, and certainly, while I hope I didn't have it before, my period in jail reinforced my belief that one must not be judgmental, that one makes too casual an assessment of people based on what has happened in their lives. What was also very interesting for me was the knowledge that there was this greater solidarity, that while I was inside behind bars, there were people, some of whom I'd never met, never known, who somehow felt that we were part of the same struggle, that people believed in a basic sense of human value and dignity and were prepared to take risks and fight for that. The prisoners were remarkable. They ensured that I was safe. They ensured that I was treated with respect. They sneaked into my cell to see if I was okay, discovered that my mosquito net had holes and was dirty, took it away, washed it, repaired it, brought it back in, so I would stay well. They took care of me in so many wonderful ways, at great risk to themselves sometimes. But what I also found was how much can be done simply by allowing people to be human, to appeal to their better senses. At the end of the day, I think people are generally good human beings. They do a whole lot of things which are undesirable, but given the chance, good is what most people want to do.